Alright, Shalom Makia, brother Karatazar down in Florida. As you know, I did a video on how to cook a soup using quinoa and red peppers, things of that nature. So today I just want to go over what the quinoa is, alright? With some of the history behind it, okay? Now, as you know, this right here is quinoa. And if you can see it, it looks like a bunch of little seeds because that's what it is. Alright, it's seeds from a plant called that they call quinoa. Okay, that's what it actually is. It's a bunch of seeds. Now, this plant that they call quinoa goes back to the ancient Mayans. Alright, and they used to cultivate it. Okay, and then it's actually today they classify it as a weed. Now, as you know, in American culture, you know, in American society, weeds are looked down upon. Just the same as we, the Israelites, the best people on the earth, the things that the people that, you know, the righteous people are looked down upon. Esau looks down upon the weeds, what they classify as weeds. Alright, and actually, weeds are the best thing for you to eat. That's why the Most High made them weeds. That's why He made them. The reason that they call them weeds is because these certain plants and things like that, they grow rapidly and they're hard to destroy. So they call them weeds. Now, it would make sense that the Most High would make weeds so hard to destroy because these are the things that we need. Another thing about weeds, such as the quinoa, okay, is that weeds have a very, very deep root system. Once the weed springs up, that root system can go down hundreds of feet into the ground, into the soil, and it brings up all the calcium and the nutrients and things like that, the minerals and things, to the surface. Now, the Most High created the weeds so that if a place, you know, if a land was you know, destroyed or bad, a weed will pop up and it will go down. The roots will go down hundreds of feet, bring back nutrients from so down in the earth, bring it to the top of the soil, and when it dies, it will replenish the soil with the nutrients. That's why we had the 7-year law. But we'll get into that in another sit down. Okay, I'm just explaining to you why weeds are the best things to eat, because they're high in nutrients and they're high in minerals that your body needs. Okay, so this is the quinoa, what Esau calls the weeds today, quinoa. Alright, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through some of the facts, nutritional facts, and I'm going to go through the history. I'm going to read it to you guys, and then, you know, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so, alright, so on Wikipedia, it says quinoa. Alright, it's pronounced quinoa. It says it's Spanish. It says a species of grassfoot, okay, it says is a grain-like crop grown primarily for its edible seeds, which is the seeds once again. It says it is persuado cereal rather than a true cereal or grain, as it is not a member of true grass family, as is Chenopod. Quinoa is closely related to the species such as beets, spinach, and tumbleweed. Alright, going down. The overview says quinoa. The name is derived from the Spanish spelling of Quechua. I guess that's quinchua, or named quinoa, or occasionally quinoa. Originated in the Andes region of Ecuador, Bolivia, Colombia, and Peru, where it was successfully domesticated 3,000 to 4,000 years ago for human consumption. Through archaeological evidence shows non-domesticated association with pastoral herding some 5,200 to 7,000 years ago. Now, all that shit is irrelevant. All them years, people wasn't even really over here that long ago. It says similar Chenopodium species such as pitseed, grassfoot, and fat hen were grown and domesticated in North America as part of Eastern archaeological complex before maize agriculture became popular. Alright. It says fat hen, which was widespread distribution in the northern hemisphere, produced edible seeds and greens much like quinoa, but in smaller quantities. The nutrient composition is very good compared with other cereals, with common cereals. Quinoa grains contain essential amino acids like lysine and good quantities of calcium, which is very important, phosphorus, which is important, and iron, which is very important for your blood. It says after harvest, the grains, let me just say something about iron real quick. The thing about iron, your body needs iron because iron has a how do you call it? Iron has a magnetic charge to it. So your body needs iron for the magnetic charge, so things can stick to it in your blood, and so it can hold oxygen in your blood. So your body needs that iron in it for the oxygen. It says after harvest, the grains need to be processed to remove the coating containing the bitter tasting saponins. Quinoa grains are in general cooked the same way as rice and can be used in a wide range of dishes. Quinoa leaves are also eaten as a leaf vegetable, much like amaranth, but the commercial availability of quinoa greens is limited, right? They don't sell the greens in the store. Alright, so we're going to read the history and culture on this page too. It says the Incas who held the crop to be sacred referred to quinoa as Chisaya Mama, or mother of all grains, and it was the Incas emperor who would traditionally sow the first seeds of the season using golden implements. During the Spanish conquest of South America, the Spanish colonists scorned quinoa as food for Indians, or food for savages, because that's what the word Indian means, and even actively suppressed its cultivation due to its status within indigenous non-Christian ceremonies. In fact, the conquistadors forbade quinoa cultivation for a time, and the Incas were forced to grow wheat instead. So they actually banned this quinoa. Alright? Now you remember in the scriptures in Ezekiel it said that we would eat our bread defiled among the heathens. And this goes right back into that. Because here it is, this food which is so good for you, okay? The seed which is so good for you, which they classified as a weed now. Esau, the so-called white man, came in and forbade them to grow it. Basically, he went in and destroyed their fields too. Alright, because it interfered with his culture, alright, that he wanted to set up in America, because he didn't like it. Okay, so let's go on to some more history on another page. This is library.hidalgofoods.com/P=487. That's the the link address. I think it's Hidalgo Foods. So it says quinoa, history of mother of all grains. It says the South American tribes who first cultivated quinoa referred to it as the mother of all grains. Yet despite this grand title, quinoa has only recently entered the public eye and has quickly been adopted as part of healthy diet around the world. The journey from obscurity to newfound fame is only small is only a small part of quinoa's interesting history, which began almost 5,000 years ago. The grain-like seed that is quinoa was first cultivated all over South America, in the areas we know now as Bolivia, Peru, and Chile. It comprised a large portion of the local diet and was prized both for its significant nutritional value and its hardiness as a crop. Quinoa was one of the few stuffs that could thrive without any problem in the unforgiving environmental conditions of the Andes Mountains. It was also very versatile because aside from the seeds, the leaves of the plant could also be consumed. It was the Incas who dubbed it Chisea Mama, or mother of all grains, and treasured quinoa enough to use it in their most sacred religious ceremonies. Unfortunately, the arrival of Francisco Pizarro, a fucking devil, and his conquistadors in the 16th century put an end to this golden age of quinoa. It says, though the colonizers would work to systematically erase all local cultures and traditions, the Spanish came to detest quinoa in particular for several reasons. First of all, because it was so widely revered by the natives and even used in their ceremonies. It was considered to be a threat to the Christian faith of the invaders and thus heretical. It says, secondly, they rejected it as a source of food. Quinoa seeds are naturally coated with saponins, bitter tasting chemicals that are usually washed off before cooking or consumption. It says, the Spanish, not knowing this, were revolted by the taste and forced the natives to plant corn, barley, and potatoes instead. Now, this potatoes and stuff what they made these people plant were starches, man. Now, you're not supposed to eat a lot of starches. Starches is not good for your body, okay? Starches cause mucus build up in your body and things like that. So you're not supposed to eat a lot of starches. Now was the diet of the conquistadors or Esau. That's why Esau is a sick people, but they eat sick things, man. They eat things that they shouldn't be eating, like pigs, or a bunch of animals. They gluttonous on animals. They eat a lot of animals and blood and starch, man. But you're not supposed to eat you're not supposed to eat those things like that. All right, but this is what they made the natives do. All right, the Latin tribes. What is that? That's Issachar and Gad and all those tribes that were using these herbs. And the Most High said that they would come and take everything for us. We would have, that's in the curses, Deuteronomy chapter 28. Okay, that this man would take everything from us and we would have to serve him. All right, it tells you in Ezekiel that we would eat our food defiled among the Gentiles. I mean, not Gentiles, among the heathens. But in that we would eat fucked up foods over here, man. And be sick and all these damn diseases. Alright, so let's keep moving on. It says, what the foreigners could not know was that the saponins that made quinoa so unpalatable also made it a very hardy crop. The bitter taste prevented them from being preyed upon by birds and other pests and helped assure a bountiful harvest. The new crops that the Spanish insisted on planting did not have this kind of natural protection, leading to crop failures and subsequent famines. See that? When they put away this crop from the natives, from Issachar and them, then it led to famines because they was planting these other shits. It said, desperate for sustenance and hoping to preserve even the tiniest shred of their culture heritage, some of the native resorted to growing quinoa illicitly in fields located at higher altitudes. Now this is the same thing going on with the marijuana, man. So-called, what they call marijuana. Alright?